Um, Good evening. Uh, this is the Analysis King, Profitable Genius. Um, this is basically my first time recording a video. This is my first time recording a video, or this is my first video on YouTube. Please pardon me if there is any error, right? So because basically this is my first time on recording. Right. So this is the Analysis King, Profitable Genius. Like I've introduced myself. You can also call me John by name. My name is John. You can call me John by name. Um, my channel basically is all about producing educational content uh, of how the forex market works, um, what my kind of view of what you need or what needs to be seen in the market, right? So we have a couple of pairs we would analyze the both for forex pairs and also for derived pairs, right? So let's get into it. Let's get into the charts. Let's get into the charts, right? So perfect. Um, Well, the first thing we're starting with the forest, but this is actually volatility indexes, but we'll first of all be starting with the forex pairs, right? So first thing I want to start with is dollar. Right? So we'll start with dollar, US dollar, to know uh, to actually view the strength and the strength in the dollar, right? So basically we can actually see that there is actually a huge strength in the dollar, right? So, but if you go back to the daily, if you go to the daily, let's go to the daily. If you go to the daily on the dollar, right? This is this daily on the dollar, right? So, if you go to the daily on dollar, you can actually see that price has been moving in an uptrend, right? Which is very clear, right? So, you can see that price has been moving in an uptrend in the dollar, right? So in the dollar, right? So you can see that price has been moving in and out in the dollar. Right. So let's go to the 4 hour chart. Let's go to the 4 hour chart. Let's dissect the 4 hour chart to see the probable or the possible entries um for the dollar. By the way, first of all, this is actually the dollar index, which measures the strength of the dollar. So it's not basically a tradable pair, but it actually measures the strength of the dollar. Right. So this is actually the dollar index, like I said. We can actually see that there is a level right here. I actually trade supply and demand, so I'm a supply and demand trader. So they can actually see that the first thing that they did is that they run out the liquidity here. They run out the liquidity here, which actually the equal highs. They ran it out last week. Then they created a supply region, right? So I will be expecting them to actually, like I said, I'll be expecting them to sell from this region to go back to the downside. So if I go back to the 2 hour, let's go back to the 2 hour. Let's see it more clearer, right? If we go back to the 2 hour, right, we can actually see from the 2 hour that price created what a supply zone. So I will be expecting price to, okay, I'll be expecting price to come back into this region before heading back to the downside, right? Before heading back to the downside. So basically, this is what I will be expecting in the dollar. So if this moves in this manner, if this moves in this manner, then definitely all dollar related pairs will move also in this manner, right? If this moves in this manner, then all dollar related pairs will also move in this manner. So like I said, the USD index measures the strength of the dollar. If the dollar is strong or if the dollar is going to be weak. So as we see now, the dollar will actually, as we see now, the dollar will actually be weak, right? The dollar will definitely be weak. So we'll actually be seeing a move to the downside in the dollar, right? So let's go to the USD chef. Let's go to the USD chef, which is one of my favorite pairs that I actually trade, right? So let's see what the USD chef will do. Yeah, I'm actually buying the USD chef. I have a position which you can see running on the USD chef. Um, but basically, like I said, I will be looking for sales in the dollar, right? So let's go back to the four. Let's go to the 4 hour. Now I'll be looking for sales in the dollar around this. This is not clear. Let's go to the 8 hours. All right. Okay. So I'll be looking for sales around this region in the dollar. So let me remove this. Uh, this yeah. Anyway, so I'll actually be looking for sales in the dollar around this region. So let me mark it out. Pardon me, I'm still new using this. So I'll be looking for sales around this region in the dollar. So around this region in the dollar. So basically, I'll be looking for sales around this region in the dollar. Once it buys this region, which is where I am right now. So once it buys into this region, then I will definitely be looking for sales around this region, right? So I'll be looking for sales around this region, right? So I need the chart to be as clean as possible. That's why I try to remove the markup. I'm trying to go straight. So this is where I want to exit my position around this region. Then I'll sell around this region, right? So around this region will be my selling point. Around this region will be my selling point. Then I'll be selling it to this point here. So this is basically what I have on the euro dollar. This is basically what I have on the euro dollar. So we'll look on the USD shift rather. So this is basically what I have on the USD shift. Oh, all right. So this is basically what I'm actually looking at on the USD share. So I'll be looking to sell the USD share at this region. So we'll be looking for price to come back. We'll be looking for price to um we'll be looking for price to come back into this region before giving us what a very good and nice sell. So this is basically my exit on USD shares. So I'll be exiting at this particular point. So we'll be looking for a sell on USD shares. So let's look at the euro dollar. Right. So let's look at the euro dollar. Let's look at the euro dollar. All right. So on the euro dollar, if I'm selling that, if I'm selling the USD share, then definitely I would be buying the euro dollar. So I will be looking to buy the euro dollar around this region, right? I'll be looking to buy. I'll be looking to buy the euro dollar around this region. So I'm going to remove this. To buy the euro dollar. This would be my buying position. I'll be looking to buy the euro dollar around this region. So this will be my exit point on the euro. This will be my exit point. Right, this double top right here will be my exit point. So this is basically where I want to take my profit. Right, so I'll be looking for price to come back here. And when price to come back here, then we'll be looking to buy the euro dollar to the upside, right? To the upside. So right, so these are the two pairs that I'll be looking at, and also I'm actually looking at USD card. So let's look at the USD card. Let's look at the USD card. Let's change this. I'm actually looking at the USD card. I'm actually looking at the USD card to buy USD card. So although the USD card is actually buying, but if you go back, like I said, USD card is actually buying, right? So I would be switching my bias. I will be switching my bias currently. I had this particular level marked out, but it has not gotten to this level yet. So I'm going to remove it. I'm going to remove it now. I'm going to remove it now. So where I would be concentrating on the where I'll be focusing on USD share or sorry USD card, where I'll be focusing on will be this region. So I'll be looking for price to dip into this region, right? So on dip into this region before giving me the short entry, right? So this is all I'll be looking for. I'll be looking for price to come back into this region before they give me a short entry. So this is basically what I will be looking for on this is basically what I'll be looking for on USD card. So I'll be looking to sell the USD card on the long term. I'll be looking to sell the USD card on a long term. And my exit to be at this low, right? So my exit to be at this point, at this low right here. So my exit to be at this low, this currently. So this currently will be my exit. So all I'll be waiting for is price to dip in, then head back down. So these are the three pairs that I'll be looking at. So I'm actually looking at euro dollar. I'm actually looking at the euro chef, and I'm also looking at the USD card, right? So basically, I'm actually looking at those three pairs, right? I'm actually looking at those three pairs, right? So on um on the indices, right? So I'm actually in waiting for a sell position or sorry, a buy position on USD V100 I'm actually looking for a buy position on V100 right? So although we can actually see that 100 is buying, but it didn't come back to the position where I was actually looking for to buy, right? I took a buy position around this region. I got stopped out. I took a buy position around this region. Sorry. I took a buy position around this region, but I got stopped out, right? So all I was waiting for, I was waiting for price to come back here before buying, but price didn't dip into that region. But price takes out liquidity here, takes out liquidity, then started buying to the upside. So I'm actually out here. I'm out in this position, but I'm still anticipating price to come back here. I'm still anticipating price to come back here before getting to my target, right? Before getting to my target. So basically, this is what I'm actually waiting for on VIX 100 1S. So I'm actually waiting for a buy opportunity, right? Because you need to understand, you need to, I'll teach about structure also. You need to understand what they actually done. So they've actually taken our structure. So they might stall a little around this region, but eventually they will come back here, then they will not buy. So all I'll be waiting for, I'll be waiting for them to, waiting patiently for them to come back here, pick my orders, then go back to the upside. So basically, this is what I'll be looking at on VIX 100. Then I have VIX 25, VIX 25 1S. VIX 25 1S is also a pair that I'll be looking at. VIX 25 1S is also a pair that I'll be looking at to go short on it. So all I'm waiting for is price to come back to pick me in this particular order before going short. So everything because we can actually see from the 8 hours, we can actually see from the 8 hours, we can actually see from the 8 hours that we are actually in a downtrend, right? Currently, we're in a downtrend. Generally, right? Generally, we are actually in an uptrend, but for the moment in time, we are actually in a downtrend because you can see that price has taken out structure. This is the first structure. This is the second structure. So price has taken it out. So we're waiting for them to come back. Then to take out the next structure. The next structure will be around this low. So I have my orders set already. I have my orders set already at those regions, right? I have my orders set already. So all I'm waiting for is price to come back. Price to come back. Give me an entry before going back to the downside, right? Going back to the downside, right? So, um, right? So this is basically what I am actually looking for on VIX 25 1S, on VIX 25 1S, right? So we'll round this video up here, then we'll come back. We'll come back maybe next week. We'll come back next week when all these orders have been picked. Then we'll make another video, right? So see you guys next week.